Daytona, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, welcomes you to Sears Point International Raceway. Sign up today's NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Tour Budweiser 200. It is a beautiful day here in the Golden Hills of Northern California. We're in the Sonoma Valley, site of some of the world's most productive vineyards. Hello everyone, I'm Jerry Punch and welcome to Sears Point Raceway. Today we get to showcase some of the up-and-coming young stars from the West Coast. Drivers who've run the short tracks, the quarter and half mile bull race, but today get to do it on national television on a very demanding road course. And who knows better how difficult it is to get some exposure coming from the West Coast than Winston Cup star Ernie Irvan, who won here last year in the Winston Cup race. And Ernie, it's tough for these drivers to be able to get the exposure they need to get their careers going.
Well, it sure is, you know, but with the coverage of ESPN and being able to come and run a companion race with the Winston Cup guys, all these Winston Cup car owners, they're always looking for more drivers, and maybe the West Coast is where they're looking. So they can come here, watch this race. They might be able to pick somebody up, say, like they did for me.
This racetrack has been forgiving over the years. You did it last year in incredible fashion. You can come back here if you get behind.
Well, it is. You know, it's one of them things that I got a stop-and-go penalty at the beginning of the race. The race is just long enough that you can make it from the back and make it back to the front and come into victory lane.
Well, you did it here a year ago in the Winston Cup event. Ron Hornaday Jr. did his Ernie Irvan imitation in this race a year ago, coming from the back of the field. But today, John Kernan, he doesn't have far to go when they drop the green flag.
Well, Jerry, Ron Hornaday Jr. is starting from the pole position today. And one important note, he is a second and a half faster than the second place qualifier, Doug George. Now, Ron has come home second the last 2 years. He feels third time will be a charm here at Sears Point. But the man who will be chasing him is Doug George. He is the current points leader, and he has won 2 of the first 4 races this year. He is the man that Hornaday is chasing for the points championship this year. Hornaday, of course, the defending series champion. Now, Ned, a second and a half is a big deal in qualifying, but will it make that big of a difference once the race starts?
John, it's hard to imagine that one car could have a second and a half advantage throughout a race. However, I did talk to Ron Hornaday Jr. this morning, and his car is running even faster than it did when he qualified. But if anyone's going to pass him, I'm going to place on the racetrack that it could happen. I'm in turn 7. They come in here at a high rate of speed into a very flat turn, gear down all the way into second gear. 2 ways you can pass here. One, you might outbrake a driver coming into this turn, or set him up coming off and out accelerate him coming off the turn. But it's very difficult to do. In fact, there are not many good places on this racetrack that you can make a clean pass. But down towards where Benny Parsons is another place that you might be able to pass.
Ned, you're right. I'm down at the best place to pass on this racetrack. Turn 11. You outbrake the other car coming in this corner, getting under him. He has no choice but to move up the racetrack, and you can accelerate off the corner and pull ahead of him. Or you might be able to follow him through the corner, and as you said, accelerate off the corner. But I believe turn 11 is the best place to pass. It's one of the slowest places on the racetrack, but also one of the most exciting. I'm looking for a great day here.
And Benny, unless you move away from that guardrail, you're going to get a very exciting start here in just a very few minutes. What a beautiful day here in Northern California. We'll be back with the starting lineup and the green flag for this, the 5th stop on the 18-race Featherlight Southwest Tour Series for 1993. Stay with us.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
The Suzuki Intruder.
You can feel it deep inside. Dedication and a real sense of pride. And you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your Proud to be your bud.
On May 24th, 1992, the top 3 finishers at the Indianapolis 500, including the winner, Al Unser Jr., all used one particular brand of motor oil. Was it coincidence? No, it was Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline. And now the only thing going faster than an Indy car is a case of quality Valvoline motor oil. Because when you buy a case, you'll save $2.40. It's the Valvoline Indy Winter Sale.
When the job is tough, you need the best. And when you need the best, you reach for Channel Lock. For the power. The precision. For just plain counting on, there's only one. Channel Lock. Be sure you're getting genuine Channel Lock tools. Look for this trademark.
How far will your money go in buying an Intruder 800? Introducing Suzuki Get On It Flexible Financing. Want to see it again? Other programs include 0 down, low monthly payments, and first-time buyer. Get on it.
ESPN Speed Roll coverage being brought to you by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your Bud. And by Valvoline. People who know, use Valvoline. And give you a nice overview of this undulating 2.52-mile road course here overlooking the Sonoma Valley, Sears Point International Raceway, and a great crowd on hand. Glad to have you with us here as we are in the Golden Hills of Northern California. Our course, 2.52 miles, as I said a minute ago. The pole speed, a record 92.396 miles per hour. The time, 2 seconds quicker than any time in previous years, 50 laps, and the field separation, 8.6 seconds. Cars coming by, getting their cars. We'll take a look at this road course now. They began here uphill, Ernie, in turn 1. It's a very difficult, very fast left-handed turn.
It's about the fastest part on the racetrack, Jerry. And you come up into turn 1, and then you'll come up into turn 2, which is a kind of a sharp right-hander and a real off-camber. Good place to get real sideways. Then you come up into turn 3, 3A. And then you get the famous one in turn 4, where the cars, or 3A, where the cars bounce up real good. Down into 4. Pretty uneventful. Down up into the carousel, which is turn 5, or turn 6, which is probably the best place to really set somebody up and pass them and come on into turn 7.
Hard left-hander out of the carousel, come up to turn 7 where Ned Jarrett will be standing by. It's a 180-degree about-face turn in turn 7. They come out of 7 down through 8, 9, and 10, which are the S's. And as you come out of the S's in turn 10, you head down for that 180-degree about-face, the hairpin, which is turn 11, as they will come back by the pits. Take a look at our starting lineup here. 42 strong. On the pole, Ron Hornaday Jr., the defending series champion. Doug George, the current point leader outside row 1. Ken Schrader, Winston Cup star, and Kenny Hendrick, the young driver, starts the car number 9 in 4th spot. Row 3, Tom Hubert, last year's pole sitter, and Dale Williams, a rookie. Row 4, Jeff Gordon and Rudy Revac. Back to row 5, Brian Germoni, former Rookie of the Year, and last year's Rookie of the Year, Stephen Portingay. As you look at the rest of our starters, some pretty good cars starting toward the back of the field, Ernie. And this track that's in at the opening of the show, a very good place to be able to make up some time.
Well, they can. They can come from the back and make it right to the front if their car's handling good. And I look for that to happen. You got a good one there, Davey Allison. He's won here before, and I think he can make it to the front.
There are 3 Winston Cup regulars in the day's race. As you continue to look at our starting lineup, we mentioned Ken Schrader in the field, Davey Allison, and Jeff Gordon. Now, Terry Labonte was scheduled to drive this race in the car number 63, owned by Alan Beebe. But since Terry Labonte sustained a rib injury at Talladega, he had to sit out today. And Ken Peterson, who won this race a couple of years ago and a very, very impressive road course driver, will get the start in that machine today. Ford safety car leads the field, some 42 strong down. There were 60 cars here to qualify for this event, as Doyle Ford will wave the green flag and Ron Hornaday will hustle him up toward turn 1. Uphill across turn 2, Hornaday has an advantage as Ken Schrader tries to make a move on the outside. Field mostly single file coming up through the gears. Top the hill at turn 3, head for turn 4. One car way on the outside, sliding, rim riding on the outside of the road course. Come down out of turn 4 into 5, and here's one car.
Looks like he stopped in turn 2, Jerry.
Yeah, that car was coming up the hill, Jerry, and it got very slow. They did a lot of shuffling going into turn 2 there to get around him, but the car finally died on him. And that car that spun out up there just made a 360 and kept going. That was Ron Hornaday Jr. coming through turn 7 right now, already out to about a 15-car length lead. Boy, that car is really working.
That was Jeff Hill, who spun out of Hanford, California. The car
Jerry,
number
there's
65.
some smoke from one of the cars running about 5th or 6th. There are a lot of smoke coming as they headed into the S's. We'll keep an eye on that.
Looked to be the car number 30 of Tom Hubert is showing a little bit of smoke as the field heads toward Benny Parsons.
And we can see why Ron Hornaday was a second and a half faster, because as Ned Jarrett said, he's moved out to about a 30-40 car length advantage, and the yellow flag is out because of the car stalled up in turn 2, so they will be slowed as he gets to the start-finish line.
Not even a complete lap here at Sears Point Raceway. One car having stalled, the car number 65 of Jeff Hill, but it might be a break for one of the front runners. Ned Jarrett mentioned a minute ago some smoke coming from beneath one of the cars, and Ernie, that guy will be able to give it a chance to get on the pit road and check it out.
Yeah, you know, he may have got it started. We don't know yet. It's a long ways around, but to do it without losing a lap is going to be awful tough.
So Ron Hornaday picks up where he left off in qualifying, pulling away to a commanding advantage, but all for naught as we're under caution for the first time today. Back in a moment.
Hey, I like to save money as much as the next guy. But what are the odds that there's going to be a sale on the parts you need when your car breaks down? Hey, it's not going to happen. That's why I go to AutoZone. I mean, sure, you could wait around for a couple weeks and maybe beat their price by a few pennies someplace else. But I don't want to wait for a sale when I need a part. Now, what more could you ask for?
On May 24th, 1992, the top 3 finishers at the Indianapolis 500 all use one particular brand of motor oil. Was it coincidence? No, it was Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline.
Now McDonald's always has one extra value meal for $2.99. Might be this one, this one, this one, or to find out which extra value meal is $2.99, go to your local McDonald's. Because if you want to know, you gotta go. Come on, no food fights. You know McDonald's extra value meals come with golden fries and icy Coca-Cola, right? Good. You know there's now always one on the menu for $2.99. Okay. And you know which extra value meal is $2.99 at your McDonald's. No? Well, if you want to know, you gotta go.
Back at Sears Point Raceway under caution for the first time today due to the stalled car of Jeff Hill up on the course. And there Jeff's getting that car pushed back behind the wall. His Chevrolet Lumina made it in via the consolation race. And we have a special treat for today. Our cable cam can run almost 55 miles an hour. It'll be swinging along on that cable down along turn 10 as the cars come by. It'll be riding along right beside them as they make that hard right-hand turn out of turn 10 into turn 11, which is that 180-degree about face. You saw the car number 30, Tom Hubert, the car that was smoking a moment ago, has moved down pit road, and now our cable cam will turn around and go back in the other direction and ride along beside the cars as they head down the front straightaway. Getting set for the green flag this time as Ron Hornaday takes the green flag and hustles the car with Doug George a car length back at lap 3.
Jeff Gordon making a good move on the outside going into turn 1, and it looks like he made it.
Single file up through turns 3 and 4. One car off in the grass. Looks to be the car number 25. That is Rudy Reback, Los Gatos, California Chevrolet driver. Car prepared by Dan Press out of the Ron Hornaday stable. Has gathered it back in, appears to be holding his position right now. He's currently being shown at the 6th spot at the completion of 3 laps.
And Jerry, you can see how much of a lead as we see them coming into turn 7. A great shot there. The speed shot as they come into turn 7, but Hornaday has already worked himself up to a 10 or 12 car length lead. As we see the rest of the field come in here, and you can see Hornaday now going through the S's, and that car just really working to perfection.
Hornaday's the leader. Doug George in a 4th Thunderbird in 2nd spot. The car number 37 behind him would be the car number 9. That's Kenny Hendrick, who was the twin brother of the late Kara Hendrick, and what a talent she was, Ernie.
Yeah, she sure was. A great midget driver and a real asset to our sport.
They're down in turn 11, and Hornaday just continues flying through this corner. Schrader going through. Jeff Gordon got a little bit high, but we see the Doug George trying to chase down Hornaday, but it looks like it's going to be an all-day job, guys.
And they've got their work cut out for them here in the early laps at Sears Point International Raceway. There's Doug George, the current point leader. Kenny Hendrick doing a pretty good job in the car number 9. Behind him is Ken Schrader. There's Kenny Hendrick in the car number 9. A young man just 23 years of age in the Valvoline-sponsored Pontiac Trans Am. Car owned by Bill Miller, who used to be one of the owners with the old Blue Max racing team that Rusty Wallace won a championship with.
Jerry, one thing that might have separated them a little bit on that first lap after the green flew, they were concerned about some oil possibly being on the track from that car that we saw smoking on the very first lap, and they didn't want to hit some oil at 150 or so miles an hour. Hornaday comes into turn 7 again, takes this turn very well. Boy, he has it down pat. Didn't gain a great deal on Doug George that lap, maybe a couple of car lengths from the time they left here before. Here's the car number 63 making a pass on Jeff Gordon. That's Ken Peterson moving around Jeff Gordon through this turn. You see him headed into the S's there now.
And Ken Peterson won this race in 1991. You mentioned the oil problem as you're watching Jeff Gordon and Peterson battle it out. John Kernan, what was the problem with Ton Hubert?
Well, Jerry, it wasn't a leak or anything. This morning, whenever they checked the oil, they found it to be 3 quarts low. Well, it was down in the pan, so they put 3 extra quarts. They actually overfilled the system with oil, so they had to bring him in and drain about 1.5 quarts of oil out of the car. They sent him back on his way, but he has lost 1 lap.
Well, you hate when that happens, don't you, Ernie?
Well, I tell you, it's bad. He's going to have a hard time making it up, but you know, he had a pretty good race car. He could probably come back, maybe get that lap back and give him a run for it.
Good battle here. Kenny Schrader involved in a battle with Dale Williams, one of the rookies. Williams in the car number 89, the yellow and blue numeral machine. Williams is 54 years of age, a rookie driver on this series, but done a pretty good job in the first few events, currently 8th in the point standings.
Well, it's not going to be long before Ken Peterson's up there battling with them. He's really come on since he passed Jeff Gordon.
Pretty impressive move right there by the rookie, Jerry, moving on the inside of Ken Schrader and taking the position.
And you're right, Ernie. Here comes Peterson. And Kenny was telling me that these guys took the car home last night and worked on this 63 car until 5 o'clock this morning, put in a new locker in their rear, and he had a problem. He said he felt like he could run well. Today. Looks like he is running well.
He's really strong.
That's Kenny Hendrick. You're looking there in the car number 9. Behind him, the move has already been made to the position by the car number 89, Dale Williams out of Sacramento, California. He has gone by Ken Schrader. Schrader, one of the few drivers here using the Goodyear tires, many opting for the Hoosier tires. We might remind you they are all on an economy tire, which costs about $120 to keep costs down for the Southwest Tour. We're in the early laps here at Sears Point International Raceway. The 7th annual Budweiser 200 event coming your way. We'll be back with more after this. Stay with us.
Right now through Sunday at the Montgomery Ward parking lot. Eureka's leading dealers transfer over $5 million of new and used vehicles to the Montgomery Ward parking lot for immediate sacrifice. Free new vehicle up to $9,400 off. Hundreds of program and used vehicles up to $9,000 off. Prices start at $895. Big free price posted. Buy with no money down. Through Sunday at the Montgomery Ward parking lot on North Highway 101.
I first became spokesperson for NRS, National Real Estate Service, 12 years ago. Years of tremendous success and growth. So when they told me that NRS, Gallery of Homes, and Red Carpet are joining under one name, National, I wasn't surprised. These 3 companies make a perfect match for each other and for you. National. Start at the top.
National, start at the top.
For life, you have to have a dream, a goal, you have to be willing to work for it.
Join the Jimmy V team, the V Foundation for Cancer Research.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Back at Sears Point International Raceway on a beautiful afternoon here in Northern California in the early laps of the Budweiser 200. Good battle up front. Couple of cars. One car loops around. That's Will Harper. Will Harper out of Tarzana, California, brings it up on the banking that gets the car airborne. It comes to rest backwards. And a close call for the former stunt driver, Hollywood stuntman Will Harper out of Tarzana. Remember, he's the stunt driver who got out of stunt driving a couple of years ago when an accident happened as they raced back to the caution flag, and Ron Hornaday Jr. having everything go his way as he's been able to pull away and come back to the caution flag with a comfortable margin over the field. Caution being waved to the field now for the second time today due to an incident on the race course by Will Harper in his Chevrolet.
Nobody's been able to run with Ron Hornaday yet, Jerry, but you know, later the tires may get worn, and maybe Doug George can get up there and give him a battle.
Ernie Will Harper started to drive a race car a couple of years ago because he was a stunt man. He did a stunt involving a semi where he was supposed to break the windshield of a semi and then be caught by his stunt people. He broke the windshield as he dove onto the front of the semi, but they didn't catch him. They missed him, and the semi ran over him. The back dual wheels ran over his chest. He decided to get out of stunts, and in the racing room was a little safer.
Oh, yeah, this is a lot safer. Look at that picture there. You know, he took a heck of a ride there, and it looks like he's stuck now, so they're going to have to tow him off.
Yeah, Ernie, it looks like the back of the car is down in the dirt and has the wheels off the ground. He has no traction as far as the wheels are concerned.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Once again, let's see what happened.
Looks like he just maybe downshifted right there, Jerry, and maybe wheel hopped the car. Then it backs right up onto the bank, and that's when it really takes a wild ride, and it just kind of gets wedged in there in the V of the hill.
And rookie driver Chris Shannon from Merced, California, also spun in the background to try to avoid the spinning car of Will Harper. We're under caution for the second time today at Sears Point Raceway. The drivers head for the emergency vehicles and look to be okay. Back with more after this.
The Suzuki Katana 600, easily identified flying object.
Why use Valvoline motor oil? It's the #1 choice of Indy 500 chief mechanics, Daytona 500 chief mechanics, NHRA mechanics, and Baja 1000 mechanics. For use in their race cars and in their own cars. Any more questions? People who know use Valvoline.
Splitfire earned a United States patent. Splitfire doesn't look like any other spark plug. And the patented Splitfire doesn't work like any other spark plug.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Quicker in the quarter mile. A 4.8% gain in mileage.
There's nothing like a Splitfire. You'll get more power and more mileage, or your money back. Get the guaranteed Splitfire advantage at leading automotive stores from coast to coast.
How far will your money go when buying a Katana 600? Introducing Suzuki Get On It Flexible Financing. Want to see it again? Other programs include 0 down, low monthly payments, and first-time buyer. Get on it.
Back at Sears Point International Raceway, Ron Hornaday getting ready to put this field back under green. And we might mention that the car of Dale Williams has been able to make a move in the second position. Williams, a rookie driver. You see the field now passing by, coming up to the gearbox to full speed at the top of the hill toward turn 2. Car number 5, Brian Germoni, has looped around, former rookie of the year. Has a couple of cars coming together, coming out of turn 2. Germoni's trying to get the car refired. Now has it spinning some dirt back on the racetrack. The 1990 Rookie of the Year in the Featherlight Southwest Tour. Runs this track awfully well, and I would imagine he had a little bit of help there in the early. Let's take a look here, Ernie.
This is awful tight quarters coming up into turn 2. Looks like Jeff Gordon's up under him, and he just kind of didn't know Jeff was there, and kind of came down. They got together.
Jeff Gordon, one of the Winston Cup competitors. Now, Gordon had never driven on this road course, even though he's from Vallejo, California, just about 13 miles away.
And here's trouble up in turn 7. 3 cars have spun around. Car number 26 is involved. Ron Esau. Car number 57, which is driven by Craig Rodman. And the car number There was another one involved, but he took off, Jerry, before he could even get his number. There were 3 cars that were spun, but all of them get cleared now and take off. So apparently there will not be a cost. Although there is some debris on this turn, maybe one of the track workers can get it out before they get back around here.
Looks like planting time up in turn 7 with everybody digging up the dirt there over toward where Ned Jarrett's position. But one guy's digging up the asphalt up front is Ron Hornaday. Let's look again and see if we can see what happened out there in front of you, Ned.
Okay. We see is that car number 26 spinning around. He and the car number 57 got together coming in the turn, and we see the red car that stopped back there behind him. He actually didn't spin. He just came up to them and stopped and had to back away. And you can see the scrambling that everyone had to do to dodge them because they were right in the middle of the racetrack.
And another one up there looping around. That's Brett Bell in the car number 56 as he gets his car headed in the wrong direction. And up in beside him, the car number 85, Mac McGarry.
And while you guys were talking about that, car 46 spun down in turn 11. Danny Crafton went around, made a little contact, but he got his car going again as 85 gets his car going again, or tries to get going again.
Action all over this racetrack. What happens, Ernie? Does the adrenaline get the better part of you in the early laps?
Well, you know, just everybody gets to running and trying to make moves. The remarkable part is we don't even have a caution. Everybody got back going again. The debris cleaned up. There's enough time they can run out there and get a few pieces off the track.
That's exactly what they did, Ernie. One of the track workers, after all the cars got by, he had more than a minute to go out there, and he cleared it away, so he kept racing.
You're watching 34-year-old Ron Hornaday Jr. out of Palmdale, California. And you're riding along with our cable cam down on turns 11 as it runs 55 miles an hour. As Hornaday goes right up along pit road where John Kernan is standing. John?
Well, Jerry Hornaday has been told to cool it. He said, you got a pretty big lead, just take care of the race car. He radioed back and said, hey, I am cooling it. This car is just simply awesome today. It wants to drive the track almost by itself.
Now, Ernie, what happens when Tony Glover comes on and says, hey, big guy, cool it? What do you say? Is it hard to?
I always tell him I'm cooling it because I don't want to let him think I'm running hard. So, you know, I'm sure that he wanted to come back on. Oh, yeah, I'm cooling it, no problem. But if you clocked his lap times right now, he'd probably slow down just a little bit now. It looks like the 89 car, Dale Williams, is staying with him better than Doug George did, but he still doesn't have enough for him.
Well, he slipped a little bit on one of those, either turn 2 or 3, Ernie, and Williams did, and lost a good bit of ground. Here they come now into turn 7. Wonder if there's something about these yellow cars, Jerry. Maybe they took a tip from Ernie Irvin last year. They like that yellow car. We've got 2 of them running out front here.
I tell you, the yellow ones run awfully well out here in California, as Ernie proved it a year ago, coming from the back twice in that Winston Cup event, which you'll be able to see tomorrow right here on ESPN. But one yellow car, hey, maybe it could be an omen for you, that yellow car running as well as it is today.
Well, I sure hope it is. You know, we're going to have a tough day out there tomorrow. There's a lot of good race cars out there, and just going to have to go out there and do the best we can. If it takes it to be yellow, we might have to paint it tonight if it's another color that we need.
Got a glimpse a minute ago of car number 30, Tom Hubert, who lost a lap early when he had that oil leak you heard John Kernan report on. Hubert is back in the field, now showing in 35th spot, 1 lap down.
And there we see him trying to get underneath the 9 car. Kenny Hendrick coming off the corner. He's got an awfully fast car. Tommy Hubert is a crew chief for the 73 car on the Winston West circuit.
That's Bill Schmidt, who's the crew chief for. Now, the engine he has in that car number 30 ought to be quick. It comes out of the Richard Childress Racing Stable. Terry Elledge, who built that motor for Tommy Hubert, is set on the pole in that car a year ago here.
He's really been running good, Jerry. He's really started passing his way back up through the pack. And unlike Winston Cup, if you're a lap down, you don't get to move up to start beside the leader here. It's all single file starts.
Take a look at a pretty good battle here among some young drivers. Ken Peterson out of Kentfield, California, in the Save Mart Supermarkets car. See where he started. Back on lap 3, he was 7th, and he's making his way toward the front. Now being shown in 5th position, working on the car number 9, Kenny Henry, 4-4.
And they're coming into turn 7. He makes a move on the inside. Peterson does, and makes the pass. Well, he gets up beside him, but couldn't get the traction he needed off the turn. So the car number 9 of Hendrick stays in front.
Kenny Hendrick, originally from Chino, California, now lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, where he works for the Richard Petty Driving Experience School. Along with Rodney Combs, he's a member of that school teaching people to drive on ovals and road courses, and he's certainly given a lot of folks lessons today because he's hanging on to that spot, fourth in the field right now in that Pontiac Trans Am.
Here's Peterson trying to get on the inside, out-break him. He tried this up in turn 7. Hendrick was able to come back. Now, can Hendrick come back and accelerate? No. Peterson takes the spot away, headed to the start-finish line.
Ken Peterson, the 1991 winner of the Budweiser 200 here at Sears Point International Raceway, did not have a ride prior to Tuesday of this week when Terry Labonte realized he could not drive here, and Peterson was called by Alan Beebe, who owns the car. Alan, of course, the father of Troy Beebe, and said, come on out, let's run a few laps. And now Peterson is making his way to the front.
They spin down in turn 11. Car right in the middle of the racetrack. Car 44. Bob Lyon is spun. There he is, sitting in the middle of the racetrack. He's going the wrong way. He's trying to get out of harm's way. He's still going the wrong way as he's meeting cars. Finally, the traffic gets by. He goes around and continues on his way.
Bob Lyon, the veteran from Newell, California, 30 years of age in the Eagle Snack Chevrolet, had to take a provisional to get in today's starting lineup. But it's been all Ron Hornaday Jr. as the Palmdale, California driver has his Oldsmobile on the point and continues to lead.
We're having a burst of berry shake extravaganza at Arctic Circle to introduce our new real fruit shakes. Thick, rich, and oh, so good. There's strawberry, raspberry, pineapple, and banana. They add a burst of flavor to our already great shake products. Stop by your Arctic Circle today and try a real fruit shake or any of our many other flavors, made the old-fashioned way, one at a time. We're ready now to shake one up for you.
Outboard Center, your headquarters for Yamaha Motors, Parts, Accessories, and Service. West End Road, Arcata.
After 20 of 50 laps, here's how they run right now. Charlie Said, Jim Engelbright, Ron Peterson, Ray Hooper Jr., and Kenny Shepard in the top 5. 6 through 10, Randy Olson, and they're the cars that pitted. Jeff Gordon, the first one off of pit road. Ken Schrader, Randy Laskowski did not pit, and Dale Williams did pit. Now here's why they're pitting: the engine combinations. Look here, they can run a V6 or a V8, 102-inch wheelbase. The V6 engines weigh 2950, the V8s weigh 2900 to 3050, depending upon whether they're open compression or a 9-to-1 compression. So the V6s get awfully good fuel mileage, and some of those cars that pitted, most of them that pitted earlier, were indeed V6s.
Yeah, definitely. You know, this is going to be awful interesting watching the real fast cars try to make their way back up to the front. They're going to really have to be patient and save their tires and keep from getting in a tangle up in this tight course.
You're a real good one to talk about patience, Ernie. I know that.
Yeah, you know me, Benny. I'm Mr. Patience.
We'll watch this battle among the cars that pitted back in the pack.
There's our leader, the 93 car, Charlie Said. There's Jeff Gordon. He's worked his way up to second, I guess. Or no, I guess Said's been passed by some car every year.
He sure has. Said has lost some ground as a couple of cars have scooted by. There is the car number 93 of Charlie Said out of North Hollywood, California. If you're looking for Davey Allison's car number 28, you can look a long time, but during the caution flag, he pulled it off and parked it on the drag strip part of this course, had an engine problem. He's gone back to the garage area. He was running in 10th position. The 3 cars who have pitted back in the pack, working their way to the front. The car number 9 of Kenny Hendrick, the 97, Ron Hornaday Jr., as those yellow cars are winding their way through traffic.
Hornaday got all the way down on the ripples on the inside of turn 7. Got the wheels off the ground, but he got her under control and kept going. He was trying to make it past there, but it didn't work that time.
There comes Hornaday. He is on the move. Right behind Kenny Hendrick. He'll try to outbreak him down in turn 11, I'm sure.
They're coming on Ken Schrader, too. He's right in front of him. So this ought to be a real interesting corner coming up here in 11.
Looks about 4 abreast to me if they fan out. Let's see who's going to get who. You see Jeff Gordon on the inside trying to outbreak the Charlie Said car, and Hornaday is way outside outside, loses 3 or 4 spots, and he's going trying at it again.
I don't even think he lost a spot, Benny. He's still behind the 9 car, just like he was.
He is behind the 9 car. Now he's trying the 9 on the outside, isn't he, Ernie?
Yeah, he sure is. It looks like that move will work, I think, going into turn 2.
We said a year ago, Ron Hornaday did his Ernie Irvan imitation when it comes to road racing, and now Kenny Hendrick tries to the outside. Goes back around Hornaday. Hendrick in the car number 9 as they hustle up behind the car of Charlie Saeed. There's Hornaday now trying to make a move inside of one of the cars, the car number 17 of Randy Olson. He takes the measure of Olson. Now Hendrick trying to get to the inside of Olson as they wind their way down through turns 4, headed for turn 5.
Don't look like much patience going on to me, I tell you.
The same amount that Ernie has.
Yeah, they're really going at it right now, you know. And then Ken Schrader, he's there. I think he's biding his time. He's one of the guys with the open compression motor, so he has to be careful with his tires and his fuel mileage, too.
We showed you the graphic. Schrader carrying 150 pounds extra weight because of the open compression, and now they split one car. Charlie Saeed has Schrader on the inside and Hornaday on the outside. 3 abreast coming into that turn, but they did get down to a 2-file type of a deal, but lots of action down through the S's, Benny, as they head towards you.
Man, that was impressive by Hornaday. Coming in that corner, turn 7, on the outside, passing Schrader and that other car, Charlie Saeed. But he's still got a lot of cars in front of him, but the way his car's running, that's just going to be a matter of course. Dives on the inside. He'll try to outbrake as he comes in the corner, disposes of that red car.
And you got to remember, he's only got rear tires new on that car, too, so the car's probably getting a lot more traction than it is steering, so I'm sure it's made the car handle different.
Here's car number 44 is off the course. That's Bob Line. Factor into the tires. Has it moving, Jerry? I don't know if he's going to be able to go or not.
Remember, he spun that car down in turn 11 earlier today. That's the Eagle Snacks car. You see the infrared where he's heated up those tires a little bit and got a little bit of heat coming from beneath the car as he sat there on the track. Our infrared cameras picking up the heat. You see particularly the right rear tire where some of the sheet metal has been pushed back in on the Eagle Snacks car.
Just think, Jerry, if we get the camera inside that car, inside his helmet, because his brain would be hot.
Little steam coming out of the ears. That happens sometimes on the road course, Harney.
Oh, just about every lap. But you look at Jeff Gordon. He's really making a move towards the front. He's got Hornaday behind him. Be interesting to see if he can hold him off.
And you know, Jeff Gordon grew up in Vallejo, about 15 miles from here, but never raced at this racetrack. Left California. Look at Hornaday on the outside trying to go back, Gordon. And the other car on the outside in front of you, Ned.
Boy, he brought that thing in a hurry and went on that outside, and it stuck. I couldn't believe that it would stick. Well, car number 9 didn't stick. Kenny Hendrick got off into the dirt here. He gets it back out, but boy, he lost a lot of time there. You see him coming off the turn, but he was all the way up in the sand that they put here to slow the cars down when they do get off the track to keep them from coming up here where I am.
Well, Hornaday and company trying to go by the car number 8 of Ron Peterson, who was being shown as a second-place car. In front of them was the car number 20. That's Jim Engelbright, also in a V6. He's a rookie driver. As Hornaday now moves on the inside of the car number 8 of Ron Peterson. And that's the car number 20, the Ramos Oil Company car, being shown as the leader. That would be Engelbright.
He's got out to a pretty good lead. It's going to take Hornaday a lap or two to maybe run him down just because of how fast he's running.
The way he's running looks like he's going to catch him before they get to Ned Jarrett, Ernie.
Yeah.
Here's the car number 9 of Kenny Hendrick. As he came into the turn, he was on the outside and just simply got in there too fast, and the car wouldn't stick, and he got out into that sand, lost a lot of positions, but kept going.
Jim Engelbright trying to hold on to the lead in the car number 20, 2-time Pro Stock champion at All-American Speedway in Roseville, California.
Well, yeah, we got a caution out that apparently too many cars on the track again, Jerry.
Off the track, I think that is.
I think it'd be easier for us to show you who's on the track than who's off right now, because about 2/3 of this 42-car field have been off doing a little agricultural racing throughout some of the afternoon, having a good time anyway. But you said, Ernie, you got to be impressive. You want to get a break here in front of all these Winston Cup drivers who are standing around watching. And here's one that's been up in the Toolies, as Ned said a year ago, up there on the banking, the car number 96. That was Will Harper, the Tarzana, California driver, and not having the kind of day he wanted to have. And likewise, the car number 82, Dennis Benstock from Napa, California, nearby Napa. The next valley over, and a little bit of debris on the racetrack, some roll bar padding, it looks like. And we've got a sale. There's some used tires for sale. And they just told the safety crew it's all you can carry. No, actually, they're trying to clean up the track over there in one of the turns. So
obviously somebody got off and hit those tires. So I'm sure there's a car somewhere getting some repair work done to it, because you don't get into those tires and not have to come in and get something repaired.
That was probably that 44 car that spun there just a few minutes ago.
And that would have been the efforts of Bob Lyon. So while we're under caution for the 4th time today at Sears Point International Raceway, we'll take this break so we don't miss any of the green flag racing action on this winding road course as we show you what happened to those tires and Bob Lyon in the car number 44. We'll be back with more road racing from Sears Point after this.
Why use Valvoline motor oil? For their race cars and their own cars, Valvoline is the #1 choice of race mechanics, from Indy 500 to Daytona 500 to NHRA to Baja to SCCA.
The hand on the left is waxing a car with an old sock. On the right is the Black & Decker Handy Buffer. It's 25 times faster and so easy, it'll knock your socks off. The Black & Decker Handy Buffer. The Quick Finish Power Sander from Black & Decker. To do as much as easily, your hand would have to move this fast and be equipped with a handy on-off switch. The Quick Finish Power Sander. Now get great deals during Black & Decker's Home Improvement Days.
Later on SportsCenter, the Rockets hope to finally get off the ground against Seattle. The Leafs go headhunting, looking to make hockey's Final Four, and the snow continues in California. Join Carl Ravitch and Linda Cohn at 11 Pacific.
Track facts are brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
In Winston Cup races, normally we see the teams change either right side, left side tires, or all four. But here today, we're seeing teams change the 2 rear tires. These are the 2 tires that came off of Ron Hornaday Jr.'s car. The reasoning behind it, these cars are about 500 to 600 pounds lighter than the Winston Cup cars. So they're putting a lot more force and using up the rear tires more so than they are the front tires. In fact, Hornaday's crew is the first crew to do it here a few years ago. And guess who told them they should change rear tires only? Gary Nelson, now technical director of NASCAR.
And although Johnny has 2 fresh rear tires, he is burning them off in a hurry. Take a look at what Hornaday did just moments ago prior to the caution to make the pass.
We were talking about how good his car handles. Watch him go into this corner. Everybody else brakes. He waits a long time to brake, goes around the outside through the marbles, out-accelerates these guys, and then catches this other car and out-accelerates him and beats him to the S's.
And that's not a bunch of inexperienced drivers. That was Ken Schrader he was passing, by the way, in the AC Delco Chevrolet up there, car number 52. And Schrader thought he had the proper line on the inside.
Well, he was looking good, but obviously Ron Hornaday was looking a little better on the outside.
Our 3rd place car, Ron Peterson out of San Bernardino, has made an entry onto pit road. The leader, car number 20, the rookie, Jim Engelbright from Fairfield, California, as we go back to green once again here at Sears Point. Lap 27, just past the halfway point.
Hornaday just took a shot on the 20 car and beat him into turn 1, and he's already in the lead. Now we have Jeff Gordon. Oh, he was up underneath the 20 car.
The 20 car not coming up to speed as we thought it might have, and Hornaday just blew past him. Gordon almost made the pass. There's the car number 85. That's Mac McGarry, one of the cars that had trouble early in the afternoon.
Oh, 89 gets tapped and spins around. He was on the move towards the front as we saw him a little bit earlier, the rookie, Dale Williams.
He was up under a car and really had to brake hard. Ken Schrader got into the back of him, and and what happened is basically Schrader ended up pushing him a little bit, and he got a little bit loose and spun out.
Meanwhile, Hornaday has said see ya, as now Jeff Gordon, Ned, tries to make it too wide.
Yeah, he saw Hornaday make that pass a little bit ago on the outside. It's not going to work for Gordon, though. Now he goes high. He's going to try it on the inside coming off the turn. That won't work either.
And Gordon will stay in 3rd spot as they work through the S's. Hornaday, meanwhile, has pulled away to about a 10 or 12 car length advantage. The battle now for 2nd spot headed toward Benny Parsons. BP.
And Jerry, this is exactly why Jeff Gordon is running on the Saturday race, the Budweiser 200, trying to get some seat time, some experience at Sears Point Raceway. As I said, he grew up in Vallejo, about 20 miles from here, but he's never driven this racetrack. He needs experience. He's going to try to outbrake the 20 car. can't make the pass. Yeah, he is. The 20 car goes wide. Jeff Gordon gets by to take over second place.
And they go right up pit road where John Kernan is standing by. John?
Well, Jerry, Jim Engelbright had stayed out for track position. They did not pit. The car was hung up early on. Talked with the crew. They feel they've got a few extra gallons of gasoline. They dropped so far back in the early laps that what they're going to try to do is go the distance and hopefully pull out, if not a win, a top 5 finish. And they do have one of the V6s, so it will be interesting to watch to see if they can make it the whole distance.
Well, it'll be very interesting. Let's go see what happened to Engelbright down in turn 11 here a minute ago. You saw the pass going into turn 11, Ernie, and it looks like he has an advantage.
This is actually going into turn 4 with Ken Schrader and the 89 car, where he went in, the 89 went in to try to outbrake the other car, didn't quite make it.
And you see the 63 getting by there. That's Ken Peterson, who's trying to make his way toward the front.
Looks like some smoke out of that Jeff Gordon car, Ned.
Yes, it did look like some smoke as came up the straightaway. It slows into turn. They get together, and around goes the car number 24 of Jeff Gordon. I don't know if he was having braking problems or what the situation was. He gets it righted, though, and heads on back out. But he's lost a lot of positions. He was second.
And Jeff Gordon, who had never seen this racetrack until he came here earlier this week and took a driving school, went to school to learn some road racing, had a good qualifying run. But now he has troubles here toward turn 7. Ned?
Well, he comes in, he slows and goes wide, and then the car number 20 of Engelbright comes on the inside a little bit too hard and hits him, spins Gordon around, and down to the inside.
Meanwhile, Hornaday has got to be loving it, Ernie. What goes through your mind when you have a car this good? I mean, do you get worried at all that something's just going too well for you?
Well, definitely. You know, right now what he's trying to do is shift easy, make sure he doesn't wheel hop the rear tires by shifting. Just try to stay on course and not tear the car up, and hope there's no more cautions. But that's probably a pretty far-fetched thing.
And look here at the second place car. Engelbright has a problem sitting dead in the water somewhere on the race course.
Manny, actually, he has come to rest up on the drag strip. He's pulled the car up through the main straightaway and parked the car. He's out of harm's way. There you see the car. The cars come underneath the NASCAR Winston Cup Bridge and make that left-hand turn to go up to turn 1. He has pulled his car off. Here's a car that didn't voluntarily pull off, the car number 47. That's Lee Sutton. And now Jeff Gordon has made his way to pit road, and John Kernan is there. John?
Eddie Dickerson, the crew, told me just moments ago he's got an engine problem. The engine temperature had gone way up, and now it looks like perhaps one of the water hose coming back from the radiator has actually come off. Yes, that's what they're working on right now. So what a tough break for Jeff Gordon. You can see there they've got the water hose out where it goes into the thermostat area, and now they're trying to put it back on. So a tough break for Jeff Gordon.
It's not just a tough break for Jeff Gordon, it's a tough break for Ken Schrader. That's Ken Schrader's V6 in Jeff Gordon's car.
And Kenny was going to save that engine to run at Charlotte in the Busch race, and said, but Rick Hendrick wanted to borrow it back for Jeff Gordon. And Kenny said, okay, fine, borrow it, but please be easy with it.
Please be easy.
Yeah, well, little trouble there for Jeff Gordon as he pulls the gloves off, and the phenomenal rookie driver gets ready to climb out. And there's been a lot of discussion about him as you're watching Ron Hornaday, and Jeff Gordon has a lot of talent.
Jeff has a whole bunch of talent, and he's 21 years old, and he's really handling himself well. And you know, when I was 21, if I had that kind of talent, and to be able to look ahead like he can right now, unbelievable.
Showing you from our mountain camera viewpoint, high on the hill overlooking the Sonoma Valley in Sears Point International Raceway. One camera can basically show you all of this 2.5-mile, very serpentine layout here in the beautiful Golden Hills of California. You're watching Ron Hornaday Jr. That is the carousel, turn 6. He heads out of that and heads up toward Ned Jarrett in turn 7.
Nothing in front of him. Well, there is one lap car of Doug George up in front of him, but he won't give him any problem. He comes in this time down on the low side of the racetrack. Boy, the car just sticks wherever he puts it. He can accelerate full speed off the turns. That's what's giving him such an advantage.
He heads for turn 8 and 9 now, Ernie.
Yeah, he sure does. He's really handling really good. One of the cars that was running up front, the Jim Engelbright, evidently is out with the motor problem.
And as well as this car is handling all the way around the racetrack, every corner, Ron Hornaday is having more trouble in turn 11 than I think he is any place on the racetrack as he goes blowing by Doug George. But he is continuing to get in this corner too hard, pushing up. That time he made almost a perfect corner, but normally gets in a little bit too hard and pushes up. But I guess you can have a bad corner. If the other 10 are perfect, I guess you can have a bad corner, right, Ernie?
Yeah, you sure can. The way he's going through all the rest of the corners, he can basically just kind of coast through that corner. So he's really looks tough.
And Ron Hornaday started first. He's currently our leader. The lowest he was in the field was after that pit stop. He was 12th on lap 21. He has led 21 laps. You heard John Kernan mention third time might be the charm. He's been a runner-up here at Sears Point International Raceway the past 2 years in a row, trying to get his first victory here in 1993. Back with more road racing, NASCAR style, in a moment.
We interrupt all this fun and excitement to bring you an important message. For a limited time, you can get 9.9% financing on select Yamaha water vehicles, along with low sale prices on every Yamaha. 9.9, it's our best rate, so don't wait. Head over to your Yamaha water vehicle dealer now.
Hey, is that what I think it is?
Yeah, it's my new Wagner power painter.
Well, can you edge with it?
Yeah, you can edge like this, or adjust it to control the paint up close. And when I'm done, I'm gonna switch nozzles and stain my deck. Do a lot of other jobs I've been meaning to do.
Well, does it clean up easy?
Yeah, it's quicker than you think.
Why am I painting this by hand?
Good question. Get a Wagner.
Burt Reynolds for Quaker State.
The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will. You know, when it comes to protecting against friction, nothing beats Quaker State. When it comes to protecting against viscosity breakdown, nothing beats Quaker State. When it comes to keeping engines clean, nothing beats Quaker State. Take it from me, for unbeatable protection, nothing beats Quaker State. It's one tough motor oil.
Back to green flag racing at Sears Point Raceway. After the 5th caution flag of the day, there's debris on the racetrack. There were race cars everywhere, on and off the course. A number of race cars. Jim Engelbright's car number 20 was on. Kenny Hendrick, Joe Ruggles Jr. in the 08. Cars that accumulated all over the racetrack during the green flag racing, so they put out the caution flag to clean up the racetrack area. That bunched the field up, and now they've gone back to green flag racing on lap 33 of 50, which comprised the Budweiser 200.
And we see Kenny Peterson moved up into second spot behind Hornaday. Kenny Schrader is third. Peterson, if anyone in the field can give Hornaday a run for his money, it might be Peterson.
He certainly drives this racetrack well, no doubt about that. And he seems to have a good car today. I'm not sure it's as good as Ron Hornaday's, though. Hornaday comes off of turn 6 now, heads into turn 7 as you watch some of the other cars back in the back. Hornaday already up to about a... And here is the car number 5 trying to pass Kenny Schrader on the outside. Schrader running in the 3rd position.
That's flying Brian Germoni, the car number 5, Ned, a 1990 Rookie of the Year in this series, and he's beginning to take spots away. Now showing himself up in the 3rd spot in the car number 5. Schrader behind him in the AC Delco Chevrolet. There's Hornaday going through your picture. There's Peterson.
That's actually a new one. Brian Germoni spun out earlier in the race. Is he back up to 3rd already?
He sure is. He's made his way up there. Really running strong.
And headed to you, Benny.
He goes right by. We're looking at the shot from the cable cam. As Germoni comes off the corner, accelerates away from Kenny Schrader and says, "See ya, Kenny. I'm going up and get you next, Kenny." Kenny Peterson.
The car Kenny Peterson is in, I think, is the car that won here last year, owned by Alan Beebe, sponsored by Save Mart Supermarkets.
As he heads across the ripple strips, Peterson gets the car a little bit out of shape as he is running in 2nd spot. Here is Hornaday, our leader, has led 25 of 34 laps. There have been 4 different leaders, 4 lead changes, cautions 5 for 15 laps. The average speed a little over 65 miles per hour due to the 5 caution flags. Our lap leaders, Ron Hornaday, Charlie Saeed, Engelbright, and Ron Peterson in the car number 8. Out of race, quite a few of them there. The latest one to lead, car number 66, being shown out of race, and that is Mac Demir, who is the road test editor for Hendrick in the car number 9, who was among the early front runners.
You can see how far Hornaday has already pulled away from the Ken Peterson car, Jerry. Every lap he gets about 3 or 4 car lengths, and it doesn't look like that he's abusing that car a bit.
Let's check in with John Kernan.
Well, guys, you just see how well Hornaday is running, and then you talk about flying Brian Germoni and also Lance Hooper running 4th and 5th. Should be no surprise that those two teams are also running well here. The chassis on those cars were also built by Ron Hornaday, so maybe they got just a little bit of a team effort going on right here. As in fact, Germoni has moved up to 3rd now.
John, in fact, Ron Hornaday owns a chassis company called Victory Circle Race Cars. He, along with Dan Press, who was a former series champion, have built a lot of those cars you mentioned. Brian Germoni, Lance Hooper, and of course the car number 25 that's currently parked the car, Rudy Rebeck. Ken Peterson in our driver snaps. John started back in 11th. He is currently being shown in 2nd position, his highest position of the day on lap 34. His lowest was 14th back on lap 18. He has yet to lead at Sears Point. And I'm not sure he's going to have a chance as long as Hornaday is out there. And Hornaday looks extremely strong.
He sure does. You know, he hasn't really made a mistake all day. He's just been on cue and just really looking strong. Looks like we're going to have a caution.
I think Steve Portingay is blown and has got oil. That's a dry shaft laying in the racetrack at the entrance to pit road, laying right in the middle of the racetrack. So NASCAR obviously needs to get that huge piece of debris up. They have thrown the caution flag for the umpteenth time today.
And here's what happened. You see your 1992 Rookie of the Year for the Southwest Tour, Steve Portingay. The drive shaft just comes out of the car, Ernie.
Yeah, I think he broke a Panhard bar, and then in turn that broke the drive shaft. That's why the car is smoking so bad. The rear end came loose. Oh, there's the drive shaft. I'm sure all the crew chiefs are going to be telling their drivers, watch out for that drive shaft, because that could sure do some damage.
That was a good pickup by Benny Parsons down there standing outside of turn 11. We mentioned that Ned Jarrett and Benny Parsons are both out on the course today. Ned's up at turn 7. Benny is down at turn 11. And here is our leader. Car number 97, 34-year-old Ron Hornaday Jr. from Palmdale, California, still trying to pick up win number 1 at Sears Point.
Burt Reynolds talks with the Quaker State team.
Hold on. I got to get my name on the car or my fans are getting restless.
No room.
How about on the big Q?
The big Q stands alone. Stands for quality.
You can't get better protection.
No other oil beats Quaker State.
How about right here?
No way. Red doesn't like to be crowded.
My fans are getting demanding.
All right. We'll go get the painter.
They must have had a hard time finding the painter. Nothing beats Quaker State. It's one tough motor oil.
Hey, Mike, hand me my channel lock pliers.
Tommy, give me that plier over there with the blue handles. What kind of pliers is that? These are channel lock tone and groove pliers. My dad uses them on his race car, too.
For the tough jobs and the small jobs, reach for Channel Lock, the handiest plier of them all.
Hey, guys, anybody seen the channel lock pliers?
Channel Lock. Be sure you're getting genuine Channel Lock pliers. Look for this trademark.
3 reasons not to buy BF Goodrich TA tires. Being the center of attention makes you uncomfortable. You think a Little Deuce Coupe is a place where tiny chickens are kept. You think Lug Nuts is a high-fiber cereal. BF Goodrich TA tires when you're ready to get serious.
Back at Sonoma, California, Sears Point International Raceway. The sign of the day is NASCAR, Featherlight, Southwest Tour, Budweiser 200. And how about road racing coming your way tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, right here in Sonoma. The Save Mart Supermarkets 300. Can Ernie Irvan make it 2 in a row at Sonoma? maybe 2 in a row, having won in the Winston 500 at Talladega. And Ernie with me here in the booth. Swerving, can you do it?
Well, I don't know. It's going to be awful tough, but didn't think I could do it last year, so I have a little more confidence this year.
4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. We'll have all the action right here for you. $808,000 up for grabs tomorrow in that event. 187 miles, 74 laps.
Hey,
we're
Jerry,
in the waning lap. Yeah, Benny.
Guess what happened?
What?
When the course work went over and picked up the drive shaft and threw it over the fence,
yeah,
he knocked out my camera and my monitor, so I can't work anymore. See you guys.
No. The dinner call was early, Benny. Hang on. You can see them when they come by you, so as they get ready to go, any excuse, to go eat early.
Definitely. We're going to watch Flying Brian here. He was really making a move before the caution came out. Let's see if he can make a move and get on up there and race Hornaday for the lead.
Just 11 laps to go, and that's Flying Brian Germoni in the car number 5. Not hard to pick out, right behind Kenny Peterson, who won this race a couple of years ago, 1991. The Peterson, the winner here at the Budweiser 200.
Hey, I'm back.
Benny.
I'm back.
We missed you, Benny.
Thank you very much.
And we've got Benny Parsons back with our equipment after that drive shaft took him almost out of the ballpark. Good run by the car number 07, Lance Hooper, the youngster out of Palmdale, California. He's the younger brother of Ray Hooper Jr., of course, the son of Ray Sr.
There's a leader going to Ned right now, going into, I say that's turn 7.
Yep, and he already has a pretty good leader as he comes in here. He can go into this turn any way he wants to, wide, low, or whatever, and that car sticks, and then he just accelerates off the turn, pulls him about 2 car lengths off of there, and heads on through the S's. Just it looks so easy going down through there. I'm sure it's not as easy as it looks, but that car really is working.
He really goes into that corner lower than most people on his normal lap without passing anybody. And after racing on this racetrack, I know with a Cup car, it's hard to go in there like that and make a good lap.
And I tell you what, he comes out this corner, he looks like he's running 40 miles an hour faster than the other cars. And as I said, normally he doesn't make a very good corner, but as he has found out that he has the fastest car here, as he comes down this corner, he seems to slow down a little bit, and he's making a much better corner this time and not losing the ground he did before.
Your eyes are not deceiving you. That was the cable cam running along beside the racetrack at some 55 miles an hour as the cars came out of turn 11. There is Peterson.
Now, that was just a heck of a deal that Ron Esau. He went in turn 11, something broke on the car, so he cut back through the infield and in the entrance to pit road right across the racetrack. And there's the 8 car off the racetrack. Ron Peterson off the racetrack. Other cars, he's trying to back out in front of traffic. He decides, well, I'll go this way a while and see what happens. The cars go by. He's back going again.
Caution flag waving at that turn only for Ron Peterson, who was being shown in the 7th position in the car number 8. Now Peterson gets the car righted as laps are winding down here at Sears Point. The leader, Ron Hornaday Jr. in the car number 97, headed up for Ned Jarrett.
Comes in here, and as Ernie said, takes a very low route when he's running by himself. Lets it drift up just a little bit, but then he comes off wide and just accelerates off here. Other cars coming through slide a little bit more than he does, and that might be a difference in the handling of the cars.
So it's Hornaday, then Peterson, then Germoni is third. That is Kenny Schrader now giving Germoni all he can handle for third spot as that battle comes out of the S's. Beneath the Winston Cup Bridge, there is Peterson, but the battle for third spot, Benny.
Let's see if Kenny Schrader can out-break Brian Germoni going to the corner. Schrader's car weighs about 50 pounds more, so that's one reason he's not able to out-break the Germoni car. Germoni gets in the corner a little bit too hard, but Schrader not able to take advantage of his slip.
As Joe Ruggles came through this turn, his car was backfiring and finally quit. I don't think he's even going to be able to get down through the S's. Don't know if he gets far enough off the racetrack to avoid a caution, but we can see the car sitting off the track down there. We'll just have to see what NASCAR, how they feel about it, because it is far enough off the track to avoid any danger.
Ernie, now what advantage does Kenny Schrader have possibly over the lighter car of Germoni?
Well, the only thing he has is he has more horsepower. I think Germoni's just running a 9-to-1 V8, 358 with a 390 carburetor. Kenny Schrader's running an open compression, one of Rick Hendrick's Winston Cup motors. He has about 100 more horsepower, but he also has more weight. He just doesn't seem to show up on the racetrack, I think, because of the 390. Well, you know, he doesn't have quite that horsepower because of the 390 carburetor, but he doesn't show up like you would expect him to show up. But here he goes on the outside move.
He's trying it on the outside, Ernest, as he comes into this turn.
He's going to duck low.
But he couldn't quite do it. He said that outside's docked away from me. Now he's going to try it underneath, but that won't work either.
And although Kenny Schrader may have 100 more horsepower, he is carrying 150 pounds additional weight, as you heard Benny Parsons mention a minute ago. But that's the battle we've got right now. Flying Brian Germoni, former Rookie of the Year, and Winston Cup star Kenny Schrader as they head through turns 9 beneath the Winston Cup bridge and move in toward turn 11 and Benny Parsons.
Schrader's going to try it again. No, this time I think he just goes no. Caution flag is out, so maybe they're racing back to the caution flag. Schrader's going to try it on the outside, and Ernie, we know that's not going to work.
No, but it set him up to try him on the bottom side. But I think, I'm not real positive, but in Southwest Tour Racing, I don't think they race back to the caution as far as I think. I'm not sure how they do it, but they all slow down.
And here's why we're under caution. Take a look up in turn 7, right in front of you, Ned Jarrett.
Yeah, the car number 53 came in, lost it, spun completely around. That's Kevin Kaluta. Is that the way, however it's pronounced? Anyway, he spins around, but he gets the car going, Jerry. And no problem here as far as that's concerned.
And Kevin Gatula got the car going, but it's the 08, we are told now. And Ned Jarrett mentioned earlier that stalled down there and is pulled off the racetrack. As you see, Doyle Ford there with the caution flag in hand for the 7th time today here at Sears Point International Raceway. We're under caution, and Ron Hornaday Jr. trying to hold on for 10 more laps to pick up win number 1 here at Sears Point.
You about finished? How's it going? Great. We have a lot of good mechanics that shop at AutoZone. Well, you also have a lot of people who just want to save some money by doing a simple job themselves, like changing their oil or putting in new plugs. They just want to come in, get what they need, and get out. Well, at AutoZone, we have parts for just about every car made. So if you know what you want, great. But if you're not quite sure about something, no problem. We'll help. After all, that's what we're here for.
Right now through Sunday at the Montgomery Ward parking lot. Eureka's leading dealers transfer over $5 million of new and used vehicles to the Montgomery Ward parking lot for immediate sacrifice. Free new vehicle up to $9,400 off. Hundreds of program and used vehicles up to $9,000 off. Prices start at $895. Big free price posted. Buy with no money down. Through Sunday at the Montgomery Ward parking lot on North Highway 101.
Chrysler minivans, over 3 million sold. That's more than all others combined. They're #1 in the hearts and driveways of America. And they're now on sale during Chrysler's National Minivan Sale. Visit the minivan store at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer and save up to $2,600 on Plymouth Voyager, Grand Voyager, Chrysler Town & Country. Save thousands on quad seating, anti-lock brakes, and integrated child safety seats. Chrysler's National Minivan Sale, only at the minivan store.
We're on our way to San Diego for Sunday Night Baseball this week. Barry Bonds and the Giants, Gary Sheffield and the Padres. We're going to San Diego. Did I say that? 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. We got the surfboard. Yeah, that's a big one. Joe says it's a must. Then we got, Joe. Where's Joe?
Here's Joe right here. Now I'm ready.
Okay. There's one other thing. What,
that's for you.
Now we're set. The Padres and Giants, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Back at Sears Point Raceway as the Ford Thunderbird safety car pulls away and Ron Hornaday leads him down single filed for the restart. Less than 10 laps to go as Hornaday tries to pick up his first win. It'll be 6 to go this time as the green flag is waved by Doyle Ford.
This is the best anybody stayed with Hornaday on a restart, too, so it ought to be interesting. We got Flying Brian there, Ken Peterson, Ken Schrader, and a number of cars that maybe can run with him now.
Brian Germoni in the car number 5. Behind him is Ken Schrader in the 52. The 07 was being shown behind Schrader. That's Lance Hooper.
And look at Toby Butler go by Schrader, get position, outbroke Schrader, outbraked him, and nope, was not even looking back.
Toby Butler has really been coming on. That was one of the guys we haven't been watching. And, he's making a run here. Here's Schrader by Flying Brian on the inside of the carousel. So Schrader up to third.
And the battle heads for turn 7, Ned.
And the Clyde Bryan car seems to be off the pace just a little bit. The car number 38, Butler, goes by. And the 89 car come up, tried to get by on the outside, but he couldn't quite make the pass. Looks like he just slowed down on the inside, but it looks like he's going okay down through the S's now, though, although the other cars are pulling away from him.
Didn't the 89 Dale Williams, he spun not too long ago, and he's worked his way all the way back up.
And he made a pit stop and changed rear tires after the other cars as he goes by Gimoni. So, yes, Ned, Bryan does have some kind of problem.
And Gimoni now getting a lot of heat from the 07 of Hooper as they head for turn 11.
And there we see the Hooper car going under, and he's going to, he and the 89 make contact and spin right in front of him. 89 car is stalled. Well, now he gets it started, and he takes off again, and now he has to work his way all the way back through this entire field once again as we go back to the leader, Hornaday.
And Hornaday is now pulled away from Peterson in the car number 63, using the ripple strips on that car.
That was Peterson that was using those ripple strips so much, you know. You can really make your car handle a little different using those ripple strips, and in turn you can maybe go faster with them.
If a car has a little bit of a push, would you use those? Now we're watching that coming in for you, Benny.
Yeah, we see the car come down. He makes contact with the 89 car. That's the 07 of Lance Hooper, makes contact with Dale Williams. They both go around. He backs in the tires, and Lance Hooper was not able to get his car started. He is still sitting down here in turn 11.
Man, he really came flying into that corner. He went diving under a couple cars and just couldn't get slowed down before he made contact with the 89.
And we see him still sitting there. Car will not restart.
There'll probably be a caution for that, I would say, because that's in an awful vulnerable spot.
Lance Hooper, a 25-year-old rookie candidate on the Southwest Tour this year on the Featherlight Series. His car has come to rest. Now, he is out of the groove there, so at this point in time, we are still green flag racing. We'll show you the leaders as they come down through turn 10 and head down toward turn 11. And Benny, they're going to be very close to where Hooper is.
Well, there we see Hornaday go by. Cooper sitting on the inside. But again, it's the slowest point of the racetrack. The cars will probably only do it 50 or 60 miles an hour when they come in turn 11. Only 50 or 60 miles per hour, and they got to make a 180 and go back the other direction.
Still pretty tough, making it turn on a dime at about 60 miles an hour.
Another spin down in turn 11.
It's Ron Esau.
Ron Esau, another car made some contact as Esau came in the corner.
The number 7
Ronnie out.
The number 7 car has a lot of damage to the front end.
Well, that's who it was.
That's Roy Testa.
And apparently they black flagged the car number 89. We are told Dale Williams, the Sacramento, California rookie driver, after that incident and in turn 11 a minute ago, which put Lance Hooper off the racetrack. And here is Williams on pit road. He was black flagged. The crew now looking at the rear tires.
They look like they're looking for a flat or a leak or something.
I don't think he got black flag for the instant down here. Evidently he was black flag for something else, because he really didn't do that much wrong down here.
Here's the car number 7, Roy Testa's machine, really minus some sheet metal. It's dangling off as he works his way around the road course, but doesn't slow him down much.
We have the tow truck going into the middle of turn 11 to push the 07 car, Hooper, out of the infield, but no caution.
And John, we mentioned Brian Germoni was having his troubles. Let's check in with you.
Well, Jerry, the problem is the right front tire. He feels that it's got a leak in it. He feels that it's going down. They've discussed it on the radio. In fact, they've talked about coming in this last lap. But they've told Brian that if he feels the car is still safe and he can keep it out there on the racetrack, to go ahead and stay out. But above all, take care of it. And if he feels like it's not going to be safe and not finish the race for him, to come in and pit. But they'd like to stay out there and finish as high up as they could.
Looks like we have 5 laps to go, and Ron Hornaday still out front. Nobody to challenge him right this minute.
Oh, now here we got some excitement coming down in turn 11 once again. Well, they all made it through fine that time, but Brian Germoni is coming in pit road. He's coming in and heading down pit road.
That's probably the smartest thing to do. If you have a tire going down, there's no use taking a chance, because there's a lot of walls around here that can hurt off the band.
And the former Rookie of the Year, Brian Germoni, brings the car number 5 down to the pits. You heard John Turner mention a minute ago. 24 years of age from Sebastopol, California. The 1990 Rookie of the Year has 2 second-place finishes, and the crew now going to work on that machine. Meanwhile, back up front, Ron Hornaday. 4 laps to go for the car number 97.
We can't even see the 63 car anywhere around, can we, Ned?
No, he hasn't come into sight yet. We see the car 07 that Hornaday just left. Here comes the car number 63 of Ken Peterson.
And then Ken Schrader following him.
Yeah, he's not too far behind Peterson.
Ken Schrader is doing exactly what he told me yesterday he was going to do. Just try to ride it out, make sure he was there at the end, and go home with a nice, clean race car and the best finish he can get. And he's sure doing it today. But he does have one blown-up motor, but not in his car.
It was his engine that he loaned Jeff Gordon and Rick Hendrick for the 24 car, the DuPont car, and unfortunately, Jeff Gordon had a problem with Schrader's motor, so he's not going to make enough money today to pay for that engine, is he?
No, he really thought it would be a neat thing. He'd just borrow a motor from Rick Hendrick, put in the AC Delco car, and then he wouldn't have a motor that he used out here. Well, then they made a deal for Jeff Gordon to come out. They had to borrow a motor from Kenny to put in that car. So, in turn, he still ended up using one of his motors out here, and it blew up. Or it got hot or whatever happened.
So Jeff Gordon had to park it earlier. Remember, we showed you the fact that he had a radiator hose off and the engine showed a lot of temperature. They parked it. Ken Schrader with 2 Southwest Tour wins and 8 starts. Today, his 9th start here in the Featherlight Southwest Tour. And here's the man they've been chasing since they dropped the green flag with just 3 laps to go. Ron Hornaday Jr., the 1992 Featherlight Southwest Tour Series champion. 8 different champions in 8 years of this Southwest Tour. There has never been a repeat champion.
This is a very competitive division. I mean, they run all over the West Coast. They have a Northern Tour, too, but the Southwest Tour, they get a lot of cars at every race, and like I said, there's never been a repeat champion. That just shows the competition.
A tribute to how popular this tour is, Ernie. There were 60 cars here to qualify for 40 starting spots. In the first 4 events in 1993, they have averaged 45 cars per race trying to get into their starting field.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. That's how competitive the West Coast is as far as people trying to make it, say, into Winston Cup or say into open wheel like IndyCars.
You saw an interval a minute ago between the leader, Hornaday, and Peterson in the car number 63, Ken Peterson. There you see.
There's Peterson coming down right towards me, and fortunately he turns away from me, doesn't run into me. Makes a right-hand corner, now accelerates off turn 11 towards the start-finish line.
We talked at the top of the show already about some of these young drivers trying to get some exposure. You've got to be impressed with some of the names today, like Hornaday.
Well, Hornaday has really looked good all day, and he's looked good here before. I've been following Hornaday's career since I moved east. I think his dad used to race, and you know, I always knew the name. He's from the Saugus area. He used to race at that tough little racetrack in Saugus.
Ron Hornaday, 34 years of age. His wife is Lindy. She's with him every week. He has 3 children, Ronnie, Candace, and Amanda Lee.
And it's Ron Hornaday Jr. So I did know that his father used to race too.
Yeah,
Here's second.
I talked to him this morning. Here's your second place car. I talked to him this morning. His mother was with him. In fact, they were over there. They were picking up a pair of hot shoes. And I told Al Lake, who's a race driver in some of the sports car clubs, and I told him, I said, you shouldn't be getting him those shoes if it can help any at all the way that guy gets around this racetrack.
I tell you, he's just been phenomenal today in what he's done. And here's Ken Peterson. Now watch him take a little higher line through turn 7 than Ron Hornaday does.
Evidently, it's the way the car is working, but you see he also slips a little bit as he comes off of that turn, too. Hornaday hasn't made any of those slips today.
And here comes Hornaday. The best thing about Ron Hornaday today is his sponsor, Palmdale Chiropractic in Palmdale, California. Mr. Bob Fisher, he owns that practice. He was here this morning. I woke up with a crick in my neck, so I have been over in his trailer getting an adjustment this morning. Thank you, Mr. Fisher.
Yeah, Benny just kind of goes to every sponsor, whatever they can take care of. You know, there's some of them food sponsors. Benny seems to make it over there. When he needs film, he makes it over to our truck. And now we find out what he does with Ron Hornaday, chiropractic work.
Final lap, one more lap, and Bob Fisher, Ron Hornaday, and the whole crew will be able to go to victory lane and enjoy dominating this Budweiser 200.
And indeed they have, as they are waiting and watching pensively there in the Hornaday pits, hoping and saying maybe, maybe yes. Finally, third time could be the charm here at Sears Point International Raceway. Hornaday trying to pick up his second win in 1993. He won back on May 1st at Stockton 99 Speedway. on the quarter mile at Stockton, where Ernie Irvin cut his teeth in short track racing.
That's my old stomping grounds, and boy, what a racetrack. It's a lot smaller than where we're at today, and a lot of contact goes on there, but Ron Hornaday grew up in a racetrack like that at Saugus Speedway.
Final
There he
time
is,
by
right down on the inside of the racetrack, Jerry, as he has been doing. Comes off of the turn very smoothly, no slip on that car as he leaves here for the last time today, heading down through the S's.
He negotiates the S's, and he will head for the final time down toward Benny Parsons in that very treacherous turn 11, Benny.
It's not been very treacherous for Ron Hornaday. He goes around turn 10. That's turn 10. And heading down towards me. Here he comes. Everything looks perfect. He lets off the accelerator, brakes hard, downshifts, makes that right-hand corner.
Hand out the window, waving to Benny.
Yep, backs up, back on the accelerator, and he can see the checkered flags on here. Waving to the crew as it goes by.
And Ron Hornaday in the car number 97 does it third time, indeed being the charm for the 34-year-old driver from Palmdale, California. The 1992 Southwest Tour Featherlight Series champion wins the Budweiser 200. And Ernie Irvin, congratulations to Ron Hornaday, and maybe an omen for that yellow car.
Well, I tell you, that's real close to the yellow of our car, and he did just a great job today. Made it back through that traffic. Doesn't look like he has a scratch on his car. Did a great job.
Ernie, thanks for joining us today. I know you got to hustle down for that final practice session. Best of luck to you in Winston Cup racing tomorrow.
I can tell you, I really enjoyed it. We'll have to try to do the best job we can tomorrow, see if we can make it to the front.
Back with more from Sears Point International Raceway as Ron Hornaday is on his way to victory lane. We'll hear from him in just a moment.
Burt Reynolds talks with the Quaker State team.
Hold on. I got to get my name on the car. My fans are getting restless.
No room.
How about on the big Q?
The big Q stands alone. Stands for quality.
You can't get better protection.
No other oil beats Quaker State.
How about right here?
No way. Red doesn't like to be crowded.
My fans are getting demanding.
All right. We'll go get the painter.
They must have had a hard time finding the painter. Nothing beats Quaker State. It's one tough motor oil.
At Yamaha, we've always left the competition in the dust. And now it's time they took a bath. Introducing the Yamaha Pro VXR, the world's leading personal watercraft. When it comes to acceleration, we're flat out better.
Our ESPN Speed World coverage has been brought to you by your local Yamaha dealer, who invites you to see their exciting line of motorcycles, ATVs, and water vehicles. And by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
Ron Hornaday Jr. getting a kiss from his wife, Lindy. And Ron, the guys on the crew said this was one of 3 goals unfulfilled, a win at Sears Point. Got to be a great feeling.
Well, I'll tell you, bridesmaids, it's been the last couple of years coming out here to win this thing. It's great. Hoosier Tires stayed under me all day. iBox Springs came along and helped us out this last couple of races. Super. You know, we got Palmdale Chiropractor's been here. Everybody you can think of, you know, we just put Pro Shocks on this race and everything. I mean, the car ran superbly all weekend, never missed a lick. Everything. I'm thankful for my crew. You know, we got Redline Oil. Everything was just getting us where we're at right now, and it's been a hard spin trying to come here to Sears Point and do what we did.
A lot of things happening out there on the racetrack. Were you close to much of it, or did you have any worries at all today? Was it real easy?
Well, I don't know how everybody is running. I don't know if they were pacing themselves or not. So when we pitted, we had Kenny Schrader and Kenny Peterson and everybody up front of us. So I kind of ran it hard for a couple laps. Figured out once I got by myself, we can actually be smoother. We can actually pull away from, you know, with this car. Just really neat. I don't know what to say. You know, Danny Press helping us and all my crew. You know, Dunnebush Oil Coolers, I kept this thing cool all day. You know, we didn't get above 160 all day. I can mention more and more, but, you know, this little V6, I'll tell you, the first time I came here, it's the fastest V6. I want to thank Tony Otto for coming here. We've got 5 races on it, and it's super.
Well, Jerry, Ron Hornaday Jr. certainly proved that he's got a lot of people to be thankful to today, and also third time can be the charm.
Indeed, John, as you look at these final results, he led 41 laps of the 50. And, guys, there were some impressive racing performances today out there on this road course.
Well, the road courses always give you a lot of action, Jerry, and yes, it is interesting to see the different driving patterns and the action that there was. We saw a lot of cars get in trouble and get off the racetrack. Fortunately, no one was hurt. And you can see some good drivers finished pretty far back down the line.
Yeah, we see Doug George back about the 20th spot. He was the Southwest Tour points leader going into today's race, so he might have lost the lead today.
And Mike Kofer, the 49ers kicker, had to call it a day early in the hot shoes car. And our points today, Ron Hornaday will assume the point lead. He came into this race 48 points behind Doug George. He takes the point lead away here with victory today. Once again, for Ned Jarrett, Benny Parker.
Move on now to auto racing, where Eureka's Randy Olson raced in his second Southwest Tour race of the season Saturday in Sonoma at Sears Point Raceway. After qualifying 27th for the Budweiser 200, televised on ESPN, in his blue car number 17, Olson worked his way around wrecks and into